Welcome back, everyone. I've decided to change the name of the series from Was It Good to How Was It? How Was It feels more like a discussion versus Was It Good feels more like a review. The score at the end of the video is more inspired by Josh Drive Hayes' joke score than an actual score. Now, with all that being said, today we'll be discussing Amnesia the Bunker on Xbox. Let's dive into it. Amnesia the Bunker came out on June 6, 2023, which is the fourth entry in the Amnesia series, with first being Dark Descent, with Amnesia the Bunker being a first-person, open-world horror survival game. This playthrough was completely blind and I knew nothing about the series going into this game. I will refer to Amnesia the Bunker as the Bunker going forward when I talk about the game. I was recommended The Bunker, and I was told it was a horror survival game and was a lot of fun. Let me tell you, that was very much so the case. I had so much fun playing this game. Now, the story of the game takes place during World War I with an underground French bunker. When I first started the game, you're on a battlefield, and I was thinking, I thought this took place within a bunker because of the name. Making your way through the battlefield in the foxholes serves as a tutorial, which, from a settings perspective, was very well done. After you make your way through the tutorial, you find a fellow soldier within a crater, and you make your way down to it. You try to give him some fresh water and start carrying him out of the crater, and then a large artillery shell blast goes off and you're knocked unconscious. You wake up bandaged up in a dark, abandoned bunker. Little did I know or our character know what lurks in the shadows. You try to find an exit, but it's very dark. Thankfully, you find a pull-string flashlight, which the flashlight does rattle and makes some noise, but provides a good amount of light. When running into another surviving soldier who tells you that we must go to the arsenal and get dynamite because the exit was blocked and we're trapped inside. The only way out is to blow a hole through the rubble so we can leave. This soldier also says there's something here and he does not want to be unalived by its hands. He hands us a revolver and tells us to grab some ammo from the pantry. After you grab the ammo and turn around, all you see is some creature pop out from a hole in the wall and grab our fellow soldier and drag him to who knows where. From this moment on, the real game starts. One of the big things I've learned about this game is there are elements that are randomized and some things that will always be in specific places. The codes, passcodes, consumable locations, and traps are all randomized. Now, there are lore notes and photos to help you give life to the world, and from my experience playing the game, they were always in the same spot. The bunker is broken down into 8 locations. These areas are as followed: Central Bunker, Maintenance, Prison, Soldier Quarters, Arsenal, Tunnels, and then the ending area. Now, I'll call this game an open world because, excluding being blocked from areas due to having solving puzzles or for lore reasons, you are freely able to roam and explore as you see fit. However, when you go into an area like the prison, you are free to do everything you can before experiencing maintenance or soldier quarters. As you cross over the threshold to an area, you have a change in zones. But there isn't a loading screen. There's occasionally a little hiccup or some funky animations, but nothing too crazy because it all goes away very, very quickly. Within the central bunker, you have your main safe room with 2 steel doors with locks, an oil lamp which acts as your save point, storage container, a map, and the most important interactable item in the whole game, the generator. There is a note by the generator that says, always keep the lights on. This thing hates the light. and you can take that how you will. I personally took that to heart, and I did what I could to keep the generator running for as long as possible. You will need to find fuel cans, which has very, very little fuel in them. To help you know how long your fuel will last in the generator is a pocket watch. You wind the watch after putting gas in the generator and turning the generator on. After I worked my way through the central bunker and solved all the puzzles that I have found, I went ahead and opened the gate, which by this time I had a note that stated I needed to go to the communication room within the soldiers' quarters to get the arsenal passcode. So, my first instinct was, let's go there. But I ended up going to the prison instead, thinking I was headed towards the soldiers' quarters. I did as much as I could in the prison, but I ended up seeing a grate that was bolted on, which all the ones I found before then have been just sitting against a vent or a wall, loosely hanging on, that I can just tear off and move to the side. After I went back towards the prison, after running from the beast, I noticed there was a path to the left of the prison, which that was actually the soldiers' quarters. So, I ended up doing all the puzzles and opening the communication door. However, it seemed I was still blocked. So, I left the soldiers' quarters and I went exploring some more. I ended up finding a note stating I needed to go to the maintenance area to get the wrench, which then I knew how to get into the bolted grates. After I make my way down to the maintenance area, I started to explore the area, which I can say each area feels different from the others in a very good way, which brings a lot of life to this bunker. Once I get the wrench code from the maintenance area, and I got the wrench from the locker, I was able to fly through the other areas. I have essentially fully completed with the last pieces of some puzzles. I wanted to state all of that so I could recommend what I would say is the ideal path to completing the bunker, which is central bunker, maintenance, prison, soldiers' quarters, then arsenal. One of the biggest things I would like to point out is that the beast patrols the whole bunker and will smash through doors to come after you. There is, however, another threat to this bunker, which are the mutated rats. The rats will flee from fire, which helps, but if you try to sneak past them, they will attack you and do damage. If you're injured, the beast and the rats will track you by the trail of blood you leave behind, which is a nice touch. The beast will also come running for you if you make a lot of noise. So, you must always stay as quiet as possible and keep the lights on. As you play through this game, you will learn how to hide from the beast, and you will learn when the appropriate times to sprint are, or even when you should turn the generator off and only go by flashlight. Now, without this overview sounding a lot like a walkthrough, let's get to the likes. Replayability. The replayability of this game is very high, as no two playthroughs will be the same, due to the random aspect of the game. Intensity. The intensity of this game was a major highlight. The monster randomly patrolling and coming out to keep the players on their toes helps keep the game suspenseful. Freedom of choice. Because the game has the open world element to it and is not a linear story, you're free to explore the bunker as you please, so you get to experience the game as you see fit. Lore through pictures and notes. Having the lore from the fallen soldiers given to you through notes that they wrote or through pictures found within the bunker gives depth to the story from all perspectives, so you can really see what happened inside this bunker. Adaptability is encouraged. The game actively encourages you to try different things. If you feel something is possible or a puzzle should be solved a different way, then it probably can. It's very nice to see a game actively encourage you to try and solve puzzles in creative ways. Honestly, there's so many things I liked about this game, I could go on and on. However, there were some things I didn't like. So, let's talk about the dislikes. Controls. There were times I felt I was fighting against myself due to the controls. I know what they were going for, and after an hour or so of playing the game, you kind of get used to them. I will say I felt the controls helped the game feel more immersive when they worked as intended. Henry's walk. When Henry walks, his steps are so loud. It doesn't seem to affect the game, so the monster isn't going to come and hunt you down like if you were sprinting. But it does sound like Henry is just slapping his feet around the whole time when you're supposed to be quiet. There isn't much I didn't like about this game. I'm not saying it's a perfect game, but I'm sure others have complaints about it. For me personally, my dislikes were very minor. This game was so much fun, and after completing the game, you unlock an extreme mode, new game plus, and even more modes that make the game even more random. This game took me 5 hours and 45 minutes to complete. The end shows you your stats from the run, which is a nice touch. If you are a fan of other Amnesia games, or like me, and have never played them, I would highly recommend giving this game a try. While being in the horror survival genre, I would say the game shines in keeping players in suspenseful situations and keeping that intensity up, which helps with the horror element. So, after all that, I would give this game 4.5 fuel cans out of 5. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please click that like button. If you're interested in more videos like this, click that subscribe button, as there will be plenty more to come. Comment down below how you felt about this game and if you've played it or not. And always remember to keep the lights on.